Hello, welcome back to Relationship Q&A with the Misses, where you guys ask your burning questions and desires, and we answer based on our experiences in life and all of that stuff. And we have quite a few questions, but this is going to be our last relationship Q&A for indefinite amount of time, for a while. We're going to be taking a break from doing these because as we do each new relationship Q&A, her and I grow closer together and we gain more wisdom, and our answers are going to be different in a few months from now, maybe even, as we've deepened our love and, like I said, gained more wisdom. But as we get closer and as more time passes, we feel more strongly that we want to keep our relationship more private. And we've had plenty of people tell us like that these videos help them or gives them a new perspective. But it also opens up our relationship to a lot of, vulnerable things, and, the people who do disagree with us, it's not necessarily something we want to have out there all the time. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I'll be vulnerable and admit that it's a lot harder on me sometimes than it is on him. He's always been very good about having thick skin and kind of teaching me, like, this is how the internet is, regardless of the topic. But no, I think what you said was perfect. Obviously, the longer we're together, the older we are, the more mature we get, the more things we go through in our own relationship. And I think anybody who's in our position and really deeply loves each other would feel the same way eventually.
It's just an added pressure, and we can both make content that'll help other people that isn't necessarily directly letting people into our relationship. And that authenticity is good, but it gets to a certain point. But yeah, we screenshotted. We have a lot of questions, a lot of deep ones as well.
Yeah, you guys never disappoint when he asks for some cues.
We have a lot of cues, and we are going to provide, hopefully, an adequate amount of A's. Oh, maybe we should also address the elephant in the room.
Or the Godzilla in the room.
The missus has pink hair now. It's not pink, it already kind of faded a little bit, but it looks really good.
I'm kind of into it. Don't judge the bangs too harshly today. This is on like day 5. She
We're
needs
not
a
judging.
wash.
Hey sis, we're not judging those bangs.
Oh, thank you.
We're not judging. You're eating, and there's no crumbs left over.
I've literally never done anything unnatural to my hair in my 24 years of life, so this was really fun.
Yes.
And he likes it a lot.
I do. We took her to LA and got her hair dyed pink.
Shout out
special salon.
Jasmine at Theodora Salon. Amazing, amazing service. Wonderful people.
First question. What do you do if you're too self-conscious and don't feel attractive enough to approach? And I'm assuming this one's asking about people approaching me. I don't feel like I'm attractive enough for people to approach me, or I don't feel like I'm attractive enough to approach people.
Okay.
I think we've all kind of been there. I mean, I don't know what you look like or how you take care of yourself, but I think that I always say that there's a baseline level of attractiveness and hygiene that you have to have in order to get the interest of someone. Like if you don't shower, you don't take care of yourself, and you maybe don't dress right, or you're not fit to a certain extent, obviously it's going to be much harder to attract someone that you're also attracted to. I'm not saying to go fully down the clavicular, black pill rabbit hole, but I definitely agree with the fact that you need to take care of yourself at the very least, and that's taking care of yourself physically and mentally. You want to be prepared to, be approachable and to approach people. That being said, from my personal experience when her and I first started talking, even though maybe objectively I was hygienic and looked good and took care of myself, I thought at the time that I looked good, but I didn't think that I was approachable. For some reason I had this incel mindset that no one would ever find me attractive, even though looking back on myself,
get a load of this guy.
I kind of was. Shoot.
Get a load of this.
She must have thought I was. Was I?
Obviously. Hello.
Was I approachable? And why was... Now, tell them why. Why was I approachable? I want to know.
Number one, obviously, since we met on Instagram, our first way of seeing each other was our pages, our profile pictures. So obviously, I thought you were handsome. I thought you were really good looking. But I loved that you just weren't trying to be somebody you're not. You had your Godzilla collection up on your page. You had your funny videos up on your page. I could tell right from the moment I started seeing your stuff and talking to you that you've never been afraid to be you, and women are very attracted to confidence. I know that's a cliche. I know everybody's like, whatever, I can be the most confident person ever and still be ugly. That's true, you can. But just like he said, there's a baseline level of hygiene, a baseline level of taking care of yourself, that when you add confidence on top of that and just not being fake, you will be significantly more dateable. You will attract significantly more people.
And when you feel more confident, and when you feel more attractive, you feel more confident.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel that, you're gonna feel like you can approach someone now, maybe. But also, there's delusional people out there. I'm just gonna say it. But
well, I was gonna add that I think social media has made it so that a lot of people who aren't exactly maybe supermodels think that they deserve somebody way more attractive than themselves, or just aren't willing to put in the same amount of effort into their looks that they're expecting out of their dream person or the person they want to date someday.
And there's a reason that women very much value there's a reason women very much value confidence, is because they want a man that can take care of them, or at least provide some form of security with him. And mainly that'll be a more confident guy. And I'm not talking about arrogant confidence where you try to seem confident even though you're extremely insecure deep down. Everyone's insecure about something, but there's the type of guy who will really like just try to show off as much as possible and be like the loudest in the room and look at me, look at me, look at me, like look at my money, look at this, look at that, like look at my muscles. But it's like the actual confidence is the quiet confidence that actually the results speak for themselves. I don't need to alert the whole room about my results because I'm already confident in those results.
From a woman's perspective, I feel like men and women think women are saying something different than they are when they say they want a confident man. A confident man is not insecure in the way that, like, okay, for example, a dude who's really insecure, who feels like he has to constantly show off for his friends to get validation, he's gonna be, dude, look at this chick I had sex with the other night, or look at this girl I pulled at the club, look at this, look at that. Like, a man who thinks that being a man is performing is not actually confident, and a woman can smell that from a mile away. You could throw away literally everything you said and just boil it down to security. I'm with you because I'm not afraid that you're gonna make me look stupid. I'm not afraid you're gonna hurt my feelings, and I also know that if I'm literally losing my mind or something bad is happening that day, I can lean on you. I know you'll be strong enough there for me when I need you to.
Yeah, I like that answer. I can always count on her, right? All right. This is actually very on topic, and we were very opinionated when we read this one.
That's because I kind of just said a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
How do you help the missus relax or cool down when having a mental breakdown? The missus doesn't have mental breakdowns. She doesn't have those. And I think, the way I read that question was that it's like a normal thing for your girl to have mental breakdowns.
There's a very big double standard when it comes to this conversation, where I see it very normalized that, a woman has the mental breakdowns all the time. She's hyper emotional. She's crazy. But
She must be on her period.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was funny.
There is a big double standard with this topic where it's almost considered expected that a woman in a relationship is mentally unstable, that she's going to be crazy at some point, that she's going to often have these breakdowns. I want you to imagine for 1 second if that was the reverse, if it was expected that the man was the one who was constantly unstable and freaking out. We call those men abusive. We call them weak. We call them insecure. We don't necessarily do that to women, and I think that's a double standard that we get more sympathy on. But I think we need to have some self-accountability here, and like you said, it shouldn't be a normal thing for either of you to constantly be breaking down. It's the difference between going through something difficult in life and just being in a bad mental condition where now you're taking it out on not just your relationship, but everybody around you.
Right. Even though things are hard, you're able to figure out how to control your emotions, and if you can't do that for your partner, then maybe you're not at a place in life where you should be with someone, And there's always going to be someone for someone, but I feel like it's too common now for people not to take accountability for things that are difficult to work through and manage, but it's possible. And, you know, you should be the best version of yourself before you enter a relationship and find someone. And, you know, maybe you're stuck, maybe you're not stuck, but maybe you've entered a relationship without working on those things. And I don't necessarily know if I can provide an answer for that, because it's like, well, now you're already together, but you still have all these problems. So hopefully you're with someone that can actually help you work through them, and will do it in a loving and compassionate way, and, you know, not, I guess, treat you as a burden, perhaps. But sometimes people aren't equipped to deal with certain things and to help another person. And you have to also be forgiving of that, because it's not their responsibility to fix you or to make you better, but ideally you're with someone who can help you.
I think that was perfect.
Let's go. I like when she says that, because that means I cooked. Do you guys ever plan on getting a pet together?
Yes.
We sure do. I've been wanting to get a kitten for so long, and to like watch this little, like a little kitten grow up.
We've talked about this since before we lived together.
Yeah.
Before we met.
Before we lived together, I just wanted a cat. And we're finally at a point in our life where I know we can get a cat soon. We're going to Japan in May for 3 weeks, and I think once we get that big, long vacation out of the way, then we're going to get a kitten. Because I don't want to get a cat before we're going to go on like a 3-week trip. That doesn't make any sense.
Right, we got to have time to spend at home with them for a bit.
But I want like a black cat with yellow eyes.
He's
Those are
had
like
a
the
vision.
cutest things ever. I like those spindly cats. They're cute. Like the fuzzy ones.
We're going to get 2.
We're going to get 2 eventually.
We're going to get 2.
Okay. We'll probably get 2. But for now, we're going to get 1. Okay, we might get 2. What are some cute date ideas you've done?
Ooh, I want to answer first.
Miku just died.
He took me to a big, beautiful garden place. One of the, I don't think it was my first time visiting you here, but it was one of the first.
We go on a lot of like nature walks. That's why we don't like do anything during the winter, because we like walking around outside and doing stuff like that. We don't really do many indoor activities, and plus, you know, we're on meal plans right now, and we can't really go out and eat all the time. Ascend. Lean is law. Lean is law. But we still go out on Saturdays. Like we'll get a cheat meal on Saturday, but that usually doesn't end up being like a dinner half the time, that like a sit down dinner, because, you know, her and I, you know, we're fat at heart. We crave like burgers and pizza.
Hold on, I want to say this just in case anybody has the wrong impression.
Say it.
Because I'll see a lot of women to women critique for this, like, oh, is he taking you out enough? Like, are you guys doing this enough? He has a fancier taste palette than I do. I love the Cheesecake Factory.
We love the Cheesecake Factory.
I know, but like, you would know what to order if you took me to like a big, beautiful steakhouse. I get the point I'm trying to make is, if I had more expensive desires for going out to eat, he would totally take me to do those. But when we have a cheat meal, we both usually want Five Guys or Cheesecake Factory.
Get yourself a humble girl. You know, she doesn't actually expect a lot from, like, well, it's not that she doesn't expect a lot from me, it's more that she doesn't require a lot to be happy. As long as we're doing stuff together, then that makes her happy. And it makes me happy too, but I also like to provide a fun experience.
Downplay yourself so much. You do so much for me.
I know, I do a lot for you. I do a lot for her. But I'm saying is, even if, like, I didn't plan the perfect date or something, she's not going to get mad at me for it. Like, she's not going to get mad because I take her to Cheesecake Factory. She's going to be so happy. She's not going to get mad if I even take her to, like, McDonald's. So, which, you know, we don't get McDonald's, but if we did.
What I'm going to say really applies to, like, one of the other random long-distance questions we got, but when you go through that amount of time of just thinking and wishing and praying that you could just hug that person when you want to, that you could just see them when you want to, like, I don't care that we're 2 years in. I don't ever take for granted that I just have you.
Oh, yeah. We just had our 2-year anniversary,
Yay!
by the way. Like a few days ago.
3?
2 days ago, we went out to Korean barbecue, which is the thing we did on our first date. Okay,
good.
I'll tell you our first date. That can be cool. What I did is we were long distance, so she drove here. and then got out of her car, and the first thing she did, I didn't even get to look at her or speak a single word to her. This is the first time I ever saw her in person. She immediately came and kissed me.
You always put me on blast.
I didn't even see your face. I just immediately felt lip on lip. And then I saw your face. It was really cute.
I'm sorry.
And then I took her to my house, and she met my mom. And then I got her, put her in my car, and we drove around my hometown. I showed her all the places. And then we went to the mall and got Shake Shack. Right, our first ever meal together was Shake Shack.
And I've never had it before.
Yeah, first time eating Shake Shack. Put her on. Five Guys is better, but that's not the point. Then we walked around and went a little bit of clothes shopping. I bought her, we picked out that dress for you.
We were at
I
Tilly's.
picked out that dress.
We have that picture of us in the mirror at Tilly's with the funny glasses on.
Yep. And then we went back to my house again and just kind of hung out there. I showed her my toys, of course.
You forget that it was sopping raining.
Oh, yeah, it was raining really hard.
I was walking around with this hair flattened, looking like a wet mop.
And then I took her to Iron Age, which if you've never been to Iron Age before, it's just like this amazing Korean barbecue place. And they have these giant screens that are always playing K-pop music videos, which is that was a pretty good first impression because, we both got to bond over K-pop.
If you've ever been on my Instagram story at all, you know I listen to K-pop.
Yep, and the food there is obviously good. And it was a humble first date. It's before I ever got that motion or even started posting content, and so I was very proud of that. You know what I'm saying?
I loved every minute.
Now I guess we go on a lot more vacations together, but they're more like trips for like Young LA and stuff. Code Lukey at Young LA and Code Viv at Young LA. By the way. Want to just throw that one in there. Do you think it's healthy for either of you to openly have a celebrity crush or anything of the sort?
Ooh, that speed face.
Babe, I love you so much, but if this other more rich, famous, and handsome guy wanted to f me, I would. In a heartbeat. No questions asked. I don't even know who he is. So you're lucky that you're not that guy. How does that sound?
I'm going to talk about this on a deeper level.
Okay, go deeper. That's all I have to say.
When a person has a celebrity crush, they have a crush on the idea of that person. You have no idea what that celebrity is like in real life at all. They're literally coached and made to be different people.
Yeah, but also that's when people are hooking up with some random person at the club, they also don't know how that person is at real life.
Huh.
Wait a minute, it's almost like that's not good.
It's almost like that might be a little dangerous in the long run.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point that I'm getting at is you're in your relationship with your person because you know them and you love them for who they are. If you're so willing to prioritize a fantasy over top of that, I know a lot of women who are in relationships, but they still read hella smut fan fiction about their favorite K-pop idols or their favorite anime characters. And on that line, people would be like, well, it's a fantasy character. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not exactly going to be comfortable if you're watching a hentai anime and you're like, babe, she's not real. She's not real.
Girls who are into that stuff are just as weird as the guys who are into that stuff. Take it from a guy who used to be into that stuff.
The gooners and the goonettes, they both exist.
They do. It's just different. It's different weird, but they're both equally weird.
I think for too long, people tried to make it out like women don't engage in that world at all.
Wait, how did we get here?
We were talking about celebrity crushes.
Right. And then it went to anime and gooning.
Yes, because I will always hear the argument that oh, these aren't real people, it's fine. There's a certain class of very terrible criminals who make that argument as well.
Right.
Let's think about this for a minute.
I don't get it, but I get it. No, I'm joking, I get it.
I would be brokenhearted if you genuinely thought that I was attracted to somebody other than you. That would hurt.
Not even Jungkook? I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I would feel shameful that I had made my person feel that way.
Yeah.
And that's how I think people should think about it. Why would you do something that is inviting insecurity in your relationship?
Exactly. Which, that brings us to a very good question I wanted to ask. Or that this is a question I wanted to amend, right? I got this question on a gym live stream maybe a year ago.
Yes.
And that clip went viral and I had so many people disagreeing with me. Most of my friends are females, but my girl trusts me, so it's all good. Let me pose this question. Do your parents have best girl or guy friends of the opposite gender that they confide in? Probably not, unless they're divorced. All right? It just doesn't work. It never will, never has, never should. What's the point of having female friends if you won't even talk to them when you get married with your actual wife? There's no point. And the core intent of my answer wasn't wrong, but I think the way I worded it was a little too black and white and harsh. I think I literally said it was a black and white thing, which it's not really. So
I have a good follow-up after you address this.
I'm gonna amend it. Yeah. Is it okay to have girl/guy friends if I'm in a relationship if I knew them for a long time prior? And I think the way I would answer this now is there has to be a very clear, established communication about these people. When her and I first met, we were long distance, and I knew that going into it. This is the first relationship where I was extremely serious about it, and I actually had like a long-term commitment in mind when talking to her. And so right at the start, I didn't want there to be any confusion about whether I was solely committed to her or not. And so I decided that I shouldn't have any more female friends, right? That wasn't a requirement from her, but I did it to make it so that there was a lot more comfortability in the fact that we were going to be long distance. I'd say that it's not wrong to have guy or girl friends, but there has to be a boundary established, because let's say we're seriously committed, right? And let's say we're 2 years in right now, and then this girl that I've been friends with a few years before I met her, let's say I just go and start like talking about my relationship, about something vulnerable, like maybe we had an argument or something, and I'm talking to another girl now, I'm confiding in her about our relationship. I'm now placing that at a higher value than my future wife. I don't agree with that at all. I don't know. Do you kind of see where I'm getting with this?
100%. And we say this almost every time we make a dating advice video. You don't have to have the exact same standard as us. But as two people that started out in a long distance relationship, I have never had any super close relationships with guy friends at all, because I was raised that way. My mom, just in particular, has always emphasized to me, especially in our little town, it doesn't look great when one girl is constantly hanging out with only a bunch of guys who don't have a good reputation. And I hate how everybody pretends this is such a like evil thing to say, because I don't know how many relationships I know of that were like, yeah, we were friends for a year and a half and I finally got the courage to tell her that I'm actually really into her,
right,
and we started dating. Or how many friendships have ended and blown up miserably because somebody confessed to somebody that was already in a relationship and they tried to sever that.
It's more than not that when a guy is friends with a girl, that it's almost like he's waiting to get the opportunity to be with her. Now, I'm not saying obviously that's every single relationship. I've had plenty of platonic friendships with girls where it's never been that dynamic. But I don't think it's a good look if your partner is like constantly getting attention from the opposite sex that's not you, because that just welcomes unnecessary jealousy, and people are so quick to point the finger and call the other person insecure, but it's a natural response to feel a little bit jealous if she's always talking to other guys that she's friends with, right? Like, I'm gonna get a little bit jealous, regardless of how like secure our relationship is.
Insecure. Prime example. He's good friends with one of his best friend's girlfriend. They have been friends for years, since long before I knew any of them. I'm not threatened by her in the slightest. It would never even pass my mind that she looks at him romantically, or that I would ever look at her dude romantically. It's just not even in the same universe, because we know each other. We're no longer long distance. I've met her. We've all hung out together. It's very, very different depending on what stage your relationship is at in life.
I feel like the people who are quickest to call someone else insecure are the insecurest people.
Yes, because I would just admit out loud, hi babe, I'm really insecure right now.
I am insecure. I'm sorry, like, I don't care if you call me insecure. I'll be insecure if that's what you want to label me, because I don't want her hanging out with a bunch of other dudes.
Like,
I still don't want you hanging out with a bunch of other dudes.
I wouldn't even feel comfortable with the optics of that, because I then know how it would come off to you and how people would think of him as, oh, like his girl is just only seen with other dudes, is only seen hanging out with this big male friend group. I get it. A lot of friend groups are mixed. There's guys and girls. That looks totally different than a girl who almost exclusively has male friends or guy friends that are her ex. I see way too many questions about that. I would be insecure every night if he was best friends with his ex, or if that was your confidant, if that was the person you talk to all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care if I had become the most like inner peace woman of all time. That would bother me. I don't know.
That doesn't even work. I'm starting to wonder now. Maybe like, have we met like another like girl in like the creator space who's seen that video of me and like been scared to like interact with me because I'm like, guys and girls can't be friends?
No, it's been the opposite. Especially when we were with Breed Divinity, a ton of those girls follow you.
Yeah.
And I'm great friends with all of them, and they admire us as a couple.
Right.
Like, they obviously knew you before me. You have a much bigger account.
Okay.
It wasn't ever weird.
Yeah, I actually have worried about that, because it's like, if I meet a new girl now, and obviously she knows her, and it's like we're all like, we can all be friends.
Yes.
It's like I don't want like any future person I meet like friendly to like worry if I'm gonna like be like, no, we can't be friends.
A lot of people took what he said out of context, because you also brought up your parents' relationship and what you watched.
Yeah.
You brought up, we were speaking about this in terms of marriage, not just in casual dating. Especially when we are married and bound to each other for life, I don't want to think in the back of my head that his emotional confidant, when he and I are going through something bad, is another woman.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And also, I brought that up because he and I both come from broken homes. My mom and dad are not married. His mom and dad are not married. We have seen a lot growing up, and it has made us crave a more stable, traditional relationship. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Miku.
What order should I watch the Godzilla movies in?
Ooh.
Okay. For anyone who has not seen a Godzilla movie, I would certainly start with Godzilla -1, because that is the most encapsulating depiction of Godzilla, and it is like modern, so you're gonna get like very good visuals. It's the best Godzilla movie. It's the most well-made Godzilla movie, and it's the best Godzilla movie. What?
Shin Godzilla is really good.
Okay, but Shin Godzilla is not a good beginner movie. Shin Godzilla is a movie if you know and understand Godzilla, and then you go in and watch that, and then you get it.
Best Godzilla movie ever for -1, and
best movie of Godzilla movies. Now, so I'd say watch Godzilla -1, then go all the way back and watch the 1954 original. And then from there, you can literally do whatever you want. There's so many canons, right? So just get an idea of what Godzilla is, then maybe you go watch the MonsterVerse, or maybe you watch all of them consecutively from 1954 all the way up to 2026. Literally, like, watch them in order of the year that they came out. Like, it's split into like 4 series. So there's the Showa era from like the 50s to the 70s. Then there's the Heisei era, which are actually continuity. Actually, the Showa era is all one continuity. Then the Heisei era is a new continuity from 1984 up to 1995. And then the Millennium era, which is like 7 movies of all reboots, and there's 1 sequel in there. And then the Reiwa era, which is all the new Japanese Godzilla movies. And then the MonsterVerse, which is the American movies. So there's a lot to pick from. But, you know, that's what I would say. Shin Godzilla is my favorite. How do you balance conflicting needs? Example, one needs alone time, the other needs attention.
Can I start with that one?
You certainly should.
So I know that I myself have needed to get better at this, and I have in our relationship, because I feel like towards the beginning of us living together, I would get really insecure that you not wanting to spend every moment with me meant something bad or something was wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's just because I'm extroverted in the sense that I like having him around me. I like having people around me. Mm-hmm. I don't require a ton of alone time.
I require alone time sometimes. That's fine. I like it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I don't like her. It's just that I need my alone time. And obviously it's something we communicated about, so she understands me and I understand her. It's something you guys gotta like make actually known in the relationship.
Yes.
Otherwise, it can be left up to interpretation, and then she can think I'm mad at her or something, when really I just like want to sit in the other room on my phone and like just, do whatever.
And it's made it so that I'm way more comfortable and enjoy my alone time more. I don't unhealthily depend on needing him in my vicinity every moment, And I think that comes naturally the longer you're together. But he's right, you have to make it known.
Especially because we don't have 9-to-5 jobs. We're around each other way more than a 9-to-5 couple would be.
We can pick and choose.
It opens you up to being able to spend so much more time together, but then it also opens up to more arguments because you're always going to be together, which is completely normal if you're living together. And
it's very human.
But on top of that, the more like arguments or disagreements or just little things that'll happen due to being around each other all the time. I mean, you're sharing this space with another human being. It's bound to happen. But because we spend more time together, the growth is gonna happen so much faster because the problem happens, we work through it, we understand each other better. The next problem happens, we work through it, we understand each other better. The less we can see each other, the less that part is going to happen too. The less arguments, or the more arguments you avoid, therefore delaying the growth.
I feel so strongly about this because I feel like so many people that I guess I've seen before anecdotally that are in really long relationships, yet the couple is not close.
Right.
Because they either go out of their way to avoid talking about deeper issues or things like that, or they just spend so little actual time together that communication doesn't really happen. And I feel like that's why, like you said, we've gotten just so close rather quickly, and our love has matured quickly because we spend a ton of time together.
Exactly. I'd say in both ways it's good. It's a good thing because regardless, any long-term relationship is going to have arguments. So if you're like a younger person who's never been in a relationship or maybe one relationship, watching this and thinking that things feeling bad or having an argument is bad, then you got to mature a little bit in your understanding of a relationship because human beings are going to disagree. But what shows the strength of the relationship is how you guys work through it and overcome it together, because you should always come out of it, even if it takes a lot of time, like multiple days or even a week, you should always come out of it stronger. And you should not stop working through it until you've overcome it and have become stronger from it. And it's never going to be a situation where she's compromising for me and I'm compromising for her. It's always going to be we meet in the middle and actually come to an understanding and not just like quickly solve something with a simple compromise. That means I cooked. Hey, yes. That means I really cooked.
I have nothing to add. That was perfect.
Let's go.
You've been nice to Miku's pigtails down there.
I can't stop putting my fingers in them. What to do if one of them has worsening mental health? Break up? Doesn't it become a burden? You had a very good answer to this when we were discussing this before. I forgot what you said, but it was good.
A disclaimer when I answer this. A lot of people could twist what I'm about to say into me saying stay with somebody who's going through something like extreme drug addiction and it's making them abusive to you or it's harming you. Take that scenario out of what I'm about to say. Every couple, at some point, you're going to experience, I hate to be dark, the death of a parent. It's going to happen to one of you first. It's one of the darkest things human beings go through. And that's arguably one of the times where a lot of us have seen divorces happen at that time. People go through long-term depressive episodes. There's just so much pain. There's so much anguish. There's a different energy over the house. You have to realize that when you're with somebody, you committed to them, you married them. Like, that's not just through the sunshine rainbow phases of life. That's through everything in life. And we should expect that life isn't going to be perfect. The real miracle is the fact that two people can be so happy together despite how crazy life is and how dark things get sometimes. I think it's sad how quickly we walk away from somebody, how quickly we give up on a relationship, give up on each other because things got a little difficult. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've always said, like, the two things that would crush me the most, like, don't ever cheat on me, don't ever put your hands on me.
You can't expect to both be in the same mental place all the time. Eventually, like, I'll have a period in my life where things are really bad, and then she'll have a period in her life where things are really bad. Or maybe it's really good for me when it's bad for her, and it's really good for her when it's bad for me. We have to be there for each other in that time. You're right. You're making a big commitment when you're marrying someone. Obviously, if you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, you have to be able to be there with them through it. And you'll feel that pain with them. But if it's a little bit more younger of a thing and a newer of a relationship, let's say you're only together for like a year, for example, and someone just like is making all of their problems that they've had personally your problem, that's where the burden aspect kind of comes. You have to be aware of a sense of compatibility that early on, because like I said earlier, some people aren't equipped to handle the things that they need, that someone else might need, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like maybe it's not going to work out because you can't handle that person. That person hasn't been through enough life yet to be ready for that scenario. Some people mature more quickly than others. Yeah. It's not a bad thing sometimes that people aren't compatible. You just have to be aware of it so you're not prolonging something that's not working, and then it's detrimenting your mental health. And that's something I would do all the time when I was like a high schooler, right? Like I would get with the girl who was like had all the mental problems, and I thought I could fix her. But at the end of the day, it just hurt me instead, and then I hurt her instead. And it's like, you can't do that, especially if you're young. Young people aren't equipped to handle that stuff. Even though you think you are, you're not. We all thought we were. You can't fix her, bro. And actually, that's a good way. That's actually good. You can't fix him. Yes, you can't fix them. You can be with them through their problems, but you're not going to fix them. Who is the strongest? Satoru Gojo, of course. How would y'all meet? I feel like so many people ask this question. I think it's a very known thing, but in case you don't know, we met in my Instagram comment section on my first Instagram reel to ever hit the algorithm. And I saw her profile picture and I said, "Ooh, golly, that's a beautiful looking girl." And I hit her with a little follow request, and she followed me, and then we awkwardly and sporadically DM'd for a few months, and then I realized that she was into me, and I said, "Hey, shorty, here's my phone number. Hit me up if you want to be together." And then we talked a lot, and then hit it off, and then met in person, and fell in love, and the rest is history. I think we're ready to get into this one. Ooh. How do you deal with theological differences as Christians while dating? Now, do we have any theological differences? As of now, no. And I think that the reason we don't is because it's a very, very talked about thing in our relationship. And if there's any sense of confusion or anything, any topic, we are always talking about it. And so we're really on the same page. I think you definitely should not be scared to have theological debates with your partner, or confusion maybe, because maybe like, I don't know, like she's much more like studied on like the history and like just has a lot of like Bible history facts. That was definitely a special interest of mine for a couple months. It's very big special interest. I'm actually very fortunate for that to be a thing, because like maybe I'll say something and she's like, "Oh no, don't, you're getting mixed up here," and then I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." And everything that we talk about with that, it always goes back to, what's the Bible say about this? Right. What is the scriptural evidence we have? Or because there have been times where
neither of us know exactly what the conclusion is. So we've had to go and dig through that together. And those have arguably been some of my most favorite times because there we are, deepening our faith together and strengthening our relationship. You know, like he said, if it's always at the forefront of conversation, if you guys aren't strangers to having theological talks, you're not going to have too many disagreements, really. You're going to be very firmly rooted that, like, wow, I'm looking at my future spouse and we are spiritually strong in what we believe and what we're going to teach our kids someday.
On the contrary, there should not be major theological differences. It's a lot more difficult. Like, bro, I met like this girl, but she's Christian, and I'm not religious, or I'm atheist. That is a very big theological difference. And even though things might feel good at the start, because it's like, ooh, a fun new relationship, if you guys start to get serious, those cracks are going to show very quickly.
Well, I mean, you could use us as a very good example. You were not a hard, staunch atheist when we met. You were a man who had been around some level of faith before. You were agnostic. You were looking into these concepts. You were aware of a spiritual desire in you. Nobody had ever bothered to show you anything from the Bible. Nobody had ever really pointed you deeply in that direction, answered your questions, was willing to have those intelligent debates with you. And while you're hunting for truth, you then find Christ.
Right, and she wouldn't have been with me if I was someone who was going to reject Christ.
If he had said he was atheist, we wouldn't even have DM'd.
No, but what we did is we were having conversations, and my understanding was being deepened. And then once it was at a certain level, that's when we were really getting serious with each other. You know, when you become Christian, it's when you devote yourself to Jesus and you believe in Jesus. So. Like, big life topics have to be agreed upon for a long-term commitment to work.
100%.
Yeah, this is another thing that we talked about and got like destroyed for, because we were like, political differences as well need to be agreed on. But I don't necessarily understand still how a committed long-term relationship can agree on the little things. Or maybe it's easier to agree on the little things and not talk about the bigger things.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, like...
People just wanted to take that in bad faith and say, oh, you guys are saying you have to believe exactly identical things on absolutely everything in order to be compatible. You just want to date a copy of yourself. If you were dating somebody or married to somebody who believes the total opposite of you on something that you're strongly convicted in, that's obviously going to create problems. Like, to bring it back to dating... I know there are many Christians that can't even date within different denominations. How much worse of an idea is it to then date somebody who outright is atheist or is even of a totally different faith or religion? Those other religions would tell you that same thing. Like, I don't want to date a Christian. Also, most atheists wouldn't want to date a Christian or anybody of any faith for that matter, because they are atheist for a reason. Yeah,
a differing in beliefs is going to cause differing actions that eventually you're going to find you don't agree with. Like, if I was atheist and she was Christian, and she, like, we're newly dating and she's very convicted. Let's give like the most extreme example right now to make it understandable. Let's say I'm a hardcore atheist. She's a hardcore Christian. She's a virgin, and like she is like very much committed to waiting until marriage.
Two opposite sides of the coin.
And I am, being an atheist, I don't care about waiting until marriage, so I just want to right away. And then I just take that away from her.
Several Christian women fall for that trap.
That didn't happen, by the way, but it's extreme.
Absolutely not. Several Christian women fall for the trap of, oh, I like that guy so much. Oh, but he's an atheist. It's okay, we'll talk about it later. And on the same token, many atheist men will say, I like how modest that Christian woman is. I like how feminine and reserved she is. But I don't respect any of her beliefs or how she thinks or why she thinks like that or why she conducts herself that way. And that's not, you could put a woman in that scenario or, vice versa. I'm just using that because that's the more common scenario. Let's face it, men's views on sex are way more lax on all compared to women. And that's why it's not out there at all to say that you should be aligned on those big things before you're committed to somebody. Hello, if we're going to get married and talk about having kids, I don't want to believe one thing in teaching our children and you believe something completely different. That just creates a fractured family. You're asking for that.
The non-religious or atheist man loves the idea of a girl who, like, reserves herself and doesn't have a lot of bodies until they have to confront why she's like that.
Or maybe what she's looking for in a man, or what she would respect about a man.
I don't get it. Finish your thought.
I mean that a lot of the same men who would say, I want a very modest woman, like all these girls are hoes nowadays, there's no point in dating, there's no point in getting married. Don't look at the women they follow on Instagram. Don't look at their internet history. Don't look at the people they chase in real life. It is always a huge contradiction, unfortunately. And there's nothing wrong with having some growing pains and realizing that's maybe not right. I hate this new thing we have going on here of like, oh, I love the like Christian shell of the woman, but I don't care about preserving that or deepening my spirituality or strengthening myself as a man. But all women should be like that, and all women should follow the rules, and they should all be like this. But I'm a guy.
That's why we shouldn't be unequally yoked. Unequally yoked, which...
A lot of people think that means eggs. It does not.
It does
is
not.
Talking about the yoke of two oxen together when pulling a cart. Because if one ox is weaker than the other, it's going to pull the other ox back.
So that's that special interest I was talking about. I didn't actually know that. Do you act like a child in front of her off camera, or is it just for the videos? I don't know, you tell them.
He's even sillier off camera.
Because I can say whatever I want off camera. You don't even know what I'd be saying.
Yeah.
I could be saying something crazy, but you don't even know.
He just tells you do a lot of impressions. I get a lot of different voices out of
voices.
you. I get a lot of stims out of him.
Like those type of things, like just around the house. What's the best way I can let her know how amazing she is? I don't know, Viviana. Why don't you tell them? What's the best way that I let you know how amazing you are?
I was going to say, this is a little different for each girl, each person, whatever, but
how do I do it?
you give me exactly what I need. You always just reassure me with words. You always love on me. You hug me. You're always just sweet, and you go out of your way to do just the little things for me, things to make things more easy for me, more convenient. You just, I don't know, you always make me feel like you see how I contribute in our relationship.
I do?
I do. I'm very happy.
Let's go. That's how. Do whatever she just said. All right. How do you address issues in a relationship without angering/frustrating your partner?
We're all trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, I think there's no set way to kind of do that. It's like a by person basis, you know, because different people have different things that sort of set them off. You know what I'm saying? But I think really understanding your person and coming at them with a place of compassion and understanding, while also criticizing, you know, the thing that needs to be criticized in a way that they can actually understand and listen to. You don't want to just like go guns a-blazing and not think about their emotions when you're doing it, which is something that I sometimes do. But we're definitely not perfect in that regard. You know, I
don't think any couple is.
And it's just something you got to work through over time. Like, maybe in a few years from now we'll be good at it, but right now maybe we're not the best. You know what I'm saying?
I always look at old people that have been married for longer than I've been alive and think to myself, they had to probably get through so many ridiculous leveled arguments to get to that point. I love seeing those couples though. Having
that mindset is very, very helpful when you're a young couple. I think a lot of people need to hear that. I'm glad you said that. Good job saying that.
It's something that makes me soft whenever I'm out in public.
Yeah, you changed my view of that when you initially said that to me for the first time. How do you guys bring each other closer to God and vice versa?
I mean, honestly, just you've really stepped up into your faith in terms of encouraging me to read more. You know, you were really the one who brought up us pursuing church, and when we went and finally had a service together, just, I don't know, there's so many ways. Just going out of your way to pray with your person, or just like bringing up faith-based conversation. It can be something so small. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be big.
It's just holding each other accountable for the places that we need to be held accountable for, both of us. Like when I stop reading and praying, she'll also in turn stop reading and praying. Like, I'm the head of the relationship. I'm the spiritual head now. So it's like, it's really just maintaining that. It's maintaining the relationship with God. And like, I'll suggest to pray or suggest to read. And yeah, like she said, just we keep the conversations consistent as well. Like, we love having like our own little mini Bible studies together. And
Absolutely.
Right now we're trying to find a church to attend. So yeah, it's just really doing it together. That's really the thing.
We always say this to each other, but if it's been a long time since you've read your Bible and you feel shameful or you feel bad about it, just open it. I promise you, the second you start reading, you feel such a sense of peace.
Yeah, the second.
I promise you, the Lord is so happy that you're just opening your Bible.
Because you know that when you look at it and you're like, but I have this to do and I'm going to be so busy here, like I can just read later.
It sounds corny.
Later never happens.
I will literally tear up sometimes if it's been too long since I've read my Bible, and I can assume that I'm going to read something random, and inevitably somehow it always hits at something I'm going through or something like that, and I think, wow, I don't know why I haven't been in my word. Yeah. Good reminder.
Yeah, we both remind each other, which they say, how do you do that? But we did also say that.
Because this is like such a broad thing.
Yeah. What was the first thing that changed about Luke when you started dating? Oh, I want to know that. What was the first thing that changed about me when we started dating?
First thing that changed?
Yeah. What changed about me? I think I know what happened.
I would say I just watched your mannerisms get softer towards me.
Aw. Wait, really?
Like, not to say that you've always been such a sweetheart, but I feel like the more you got to know me and the more you got used to living life with a woman, I don't know, I've watched you get softer to me a lot.
I thought I got a little bit manlier. I was a little zest fest before we met.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, becoming more emotionally soft doesn't mean that you're becoming less manly.
No, I mean that.
Absolutely manned up in several aspects since we started dating.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was just saying what happened.
Dependability, security.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the first one to say that I'm a very spoiled girl, and I am very grateful, and I have a wonderful man who makes sure that I literally go through nothing hard.
Yeah.
You're really the best.
What changed about you when we first started dating?
Oh yeah, I want to know that.
This I just know anecdotally is that you got a lot softer and girlier because of me.
Definitely.
Like, I didn't know you before that, but I know that changed.
100%.
You were very like jaded before we met.
Yes.
And then it was my existence that softened you up and made you feel like you could finally let go.
I literally can't say it any other way. He reminded me that men can be funny and sweet and amazing and also be a man at the same time. And also be very good looking.
Am I good looking? How do I... here, you know what? This is one we'll leave it off on.
Okay.
When I asked this Q&A question on my Instagram story, I said, we are not answering how to talk to women or how to deal with a breakup. And this person asks, how do I talk to women and deal with a breakup? And so I'm going to give this my number one LukeyMC certified what I did / would do in this scenario. How do I talk to women if I want a girlfriend? What you do is you talk to them as if they're not some magical, like, otherworldly being that you have to, like, achieve, but rather they are just another person. And so if you treat them with genuine intrigue and interest, and you show them that you're interested in who they are and what they're interested in, and you just have a conversation with them. You know, it doesn't have to even be about anything deep or impactful or whatever. You just want to, like, make yourself known to them. And if you're hitting it off and things feel natural, then you keep going from there. If it doesn't feel natural and it feels like maybe they're not interested or whatever, like, that's fine. There'll be someone else out there, you know? And so you just keep taking the next step. I think guys are way too worried about like impressing a girl and like notice me. And the first conversation, like if it didn't go well, I mean, yeah, you can keep trying if you want, but if things seem like they're not going to work, then they're not going to work. Yeah, I think it just keeps escalating from there. And like we said earlier, you got to have that confidence in you. You got to get that dog in you, you know, and it's just finding the right person. You know, it might take a while.
I'm just thinking back to when you were first DMing me.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't remember what I would do. Like, I just like, I think I have like unspoken riz, because I think my spoken riz is so bad. But I have like that air of confidence to me, so it's like anything I say will be better than if I were to not be confident while saying it.
He's true.
Is that fair? Like,
right.
I think if you took the words I would say when trying to coax a foid would be, wait, is coax the right word? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The words I would speak when trying to court a foid were very bad. Like very cringe, but because I was confident and because I'm me, it was awesome.
I think one of the first stories of mine you slid up on was some tacos I posted at a place my mom and I were at.
Gosh, don't remind me. So cringe. Like, where is that place? That looks great. Knowing it was in frickin' bleep in your Boofa hometown.
It wasn't even in my hometown, so it's fine.
Okay, that's fine. How do I deal with and then how to deal with my breakup portion? You know, there's varying degrees of breakup. Sometimes it feels good to like finally be out of there, or sometimes it just absolutely crushes your soul. But I'd say no matter what, you got to get back in touch with yourself at the end of it, because you've kind of like combined with another person emotionally, and so now you have to learn to be alone. Because once you can learn to be alone again, it'll be a lot easier to enter a relationship. It's really hard for guys to enter a relationship because they're so worried about like being alone. But if you're comfortable being alone, it's not going to be hard to talk to a new girl, because
this advice could go for women too.
Yeah, exactly. But wait, hold on. I was in flow state. Yeah, it's not going to be hard to talk to a new person because in your mind, you basically have nothing to lose. You're not worried about being alone. Mm-hmm. Being in a relationship is an add-on to the inner peace that you already have. And then you're able to give all of yourself to that person once you are in a relationship. And the way I did that was falling in love with the gym. I was already in love with the gym, but since I had nothing else to do after I was broken up with her, nothing to give myself to, I gave it all to the gym. And it was, you know, I'm the one doing it, and the results are because of like my dedication to it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like I had a direct investment and return because of what I was doing. And that's why so many men will turn to the gym after a breakup, because it's like it's the one thing you can take charge of and change and actually do by yourself and have fun with it and fall in love with it.
Yeah, I think getting that sense of control back over you is why so many people are drawn to the gym after something bad happens, because you see it not just after people break up, after people have like, I don't know, if they go through a crazy life tragedy or have like a huge change or a depressive episode over something. A lot of people turn to the gym because it's a healthy way to have a sense of control over yourself again. And like you said, you see direct results from it. You know, if you work hard, you're gonna see yourself change. Mm-hmm. Like, you can almost get addicted to the results, and there's a healthy level of that, and then there's a not so healthy level of that.
Women, if you break up with a guy and then he like improves like by 1,000% self-improvement wise, like does that make you angry? Like, what does that do?
I've been told I'm very harsh for my view on this. I don't care, because I'm somebody who's, if I break up with you, it's no contact. We're never anything again. I don't want anything a part of your life.
She'll block you.
I would have no idea if they improved or not.
Okay, but if they do they get mad?
I think
women in general.
I think if we're talking about a more secular-based woman, she may feel upset and a little bit embittered if she hasn't also improved. Because I see more often than not like a huge breakup happen,
and then the girl will throw herself into the gym. She'll start baddie posting and like do that entire pipeline. And then she might also sprinkle in some like, yeah, he wishes he had me, he wishes this. And sometimes the guy won't even care. He might even be moved on already.
That was me.
Like,
the second I blocked after the breakup was when I achieved the beginning of the inner peace. So actually that's a great thing. Don't pay attention to what they're doing, because you're gonna hold on to something that is already gone.
I've always believed in you don't like keep talking to your ex. Because relating it back to the gym, you're not, the motivation of you working out for the eyes of somebody else is only gonna last for so long. You start being phenomenal in the gym when you start working out for yourself and for yourself getting the improvement that you're after. Because also everybody's standard for what a fit body is and what is like best looking in their opinion is very different even across the fitness world. So you need to be confident in building what you're building and not be worried about what somebody else is building.
I just keep looking at that apple slice you put out there. We have birds that like live on our balcony, and she thought it would like attract them if she put gigantic apple slices out there for these birds are like that big.
That is not how this happened. I was cutting up an apple. I knew I wasn't going to finish the apple. I didn't want to waste it. I already had it left over in slices. I was like, maybe a creature will come by. I forgot that we live high up and that nothing's going to crawl up here.
Yeah.
So only lightweight flying things can get to
you know what happened? All the apple slices fell off the balcony and onto the ground. So eventually probably a creature got it. We have like bunnies that like play around.
And we have
and a fox.
An evil goose.
And an evil goose.
We have a very territorial evil goose. Is he?
There's a duck in the water. Actually, I just taught her the difference between a duck and a goose, like yesterday. But that's all right. That's why I'm here. That's why I got those facts. You got the Bible facts. I got the duck facts.
You are my little nature knowledge person.
Yep. Yeah, actually, the way that I came to Jesus was we had this conversation that lasted like 3 hours, and I was telling her about space facts, and she was telling me about Bible facts and like the creation, like creation lore in the Bible. I'm like, dang, wait, these kind of intersect with each other. Wait, it's almost like God created the universe, but not only that, but Jesus. And I'm like, wait, I get it.
It was a really beautiful night.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I've got no more gas in the tank. I think this is definitely our best one we've ever done.
I feel like we're parents talking to our kids right now.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one we did?
This is my favorite one we've done so far.
Me too. I'm glad that it's our favorite because we're not doing another one of these for as a while. We don't know when, like, we might do one again in the future, but like I said at the start, we want to move and do different things and also start not opening ourselves up, our relationship up to so much criticism. But I hope that we were able to be vulnerable and transparent enough in this video, so you feel like you have a very good understanding. And just know that things change. When we're together, we're growing and developing our love and our relationship together.
Just like you are in your relationship.
I'm sure if we went back and watched the first one of these we did, it would be completely different. I haven't even watched them back.
We could do that sometime. We could react to, way in the future, we should react to the first one.
But, we're surely different even from the last one. We wait multiple months in between these to do them, so we have different wisdom each time. But, so just know, even from this, in a few months from now, we're going to be different and stronger, or in a completely different place than we were, and in a few years, most certainly. So, just understand that the advice we're giving now or the responses we're giving now are very much centered around the period of time that we're filming the video. So, opinions can change, they can strengthen, they can develop and grow just like anything else. And so, we're answering these questions as the people we are now, and we'll be different people in the future. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a nuance that people very much forget online. It's like, well, you said this 5 years ago. So, I refute.
People are very comfortable
take it back.
Criticizing from behind the screen, of course. I know I know some people that have said some harsh things about me that would be rather humiliated if their life was played out on social media the way that ours is.
And everyone's life would be humiliating if every aspect of it was made public. Like, it's so much easier to say stuff like that when you're not a public figure. Now, of course, we know we're opening ourselves up to the criticism by filming this and posting it online.
Which is why we're filming a bit less of them.
But also, we do it because you guys ask. Like
we get a lot of DMs about this.
Yes, people are always asking us stuff about our relationship and what they should do, and in person, and we understand that it helps a lot of people as well. And so we make this because you guys like them and because you watch them.
We appreciate that.
Yes, of course we appreciate it. But just know that when you're watching us, we are people too. We're not going to be perfect, and I hope that we were able to make that very clear in our responses to this. We're not perfect. We're just telling you what has happened for us, not even what works for us, just literally what has happened for us and how our relationship is. And so we really want to break down that barrier and really drill it into your guys' mind, who always say, like, you guys are the perfect couple and we want to be just like you. No, you don't. We might be very happy together, but what works for us works for us. And there are things that universally work for couples, and there are things that like subjectively work for us. And so just like, we're not going to be perfect, and we have plenty of rough moments behind the camera, but we want to use those as things that make us stronger and closer together. And so, we've even had like specific messages like, you guys don't show the bad parts, but we're not going to go out of our way to like post an argument on our Instagram and stuff. We're going to post when we're happy, and we're not even faking when we're being happy. And by the way, I'll let you in on a little secret. Half of those videos, they're like skits. Like, I tell her what to say in them because it's funny.
Obviously.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm forcing her to. The comedy of the video is to like make it look like she's holding me at gunpoint to like say something loving on camera.
People have a very hard time when an influencer is known for being both unserious and personal on their account. They have a very hard time separating real life from the entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's why we're just kind of at a spot where we're like, we're going to privatize our relationship a little bit more for a while. That way we can just focus on the entertaining part. Just focus on the social media part.
Well, no, I like having real talks and stuff and sharing my opinion on stuff, but it doesn't always have to be an inside look of our relationship. It can be a real talk about other stuff. Like, we want to, after this, do a video like clearly talking about our testimonies, because we feel like we're finally in a spot where like we can share that, and we're, I guess, confident in it. And it's not like you can't be confident in your testimony, but it's like,
vulnerable thing to do.
It's vulnerable, and you have to do it very thoughtfully and in a way that really makes people understand. Because anytime you will hear a Christian's testimony, you'll realize that they're just as imperfect as you. And it's a very humbling thing, and it's a very almost comforting thing as well. So we just want to be able to tell that as properly as we can, because her and I both have very different testimonies as well. And again, there have been a plethora of people, by the way, I've said something in the past, or just by the way it comes across, that will like accuse us of being unequally yoked, or at least it used to. Not really much anymore, but it's just everyone's at different spots in life.
I think when it comes to the whole unequally yoked thing, we probably cared about seeing that way more often when we first saw it. You instantly don't care when people say that to you, when you know that you're reading together, you're praying together, you're pursuing the Lord together. And that's exactly what we mean by we're not going to go out of our way to put like the bad times out in our relationship, because
like, what do you want us to do? Me and the missus are fighting right now. Here's what's happening. Who do you think is right?
That'd be so funny.
Is that what you want? It's so weird. No one does that.
If it was over something unserious, that'd be so funny.
That would be funny.
That would be really funny.
Maybe we'll do one of those.
We're to do a fight just for you guys.
Just for you. Not to point fingers, but the ones we get those from our women. Those questions, wanting to see our bad moments.
It's true.
Like, you're not even seeing our good moments. You're just seeing us talking.
It's interesting because I don't think anywhere have we ever claimed to be the perfect couple or anything like that. That label has been given to us. We've never made it out to be that we're absolutely peachy perfect all the time.
I made one video like maybe probably almost a year ago, maybe a year ago, being like, we're the healthiest couple on the internet. But that was because also, I was just being funny, but also we've been sort of given we've been given that label, and it's almost like we've been trying to live up to it, but we never claimed to be that. And I think maybe in our past videos we've done of these, we maybe have like come at it from like a place of like, yeah, we have all the answers because we're so happy. But that was before we've had to suffer the hardships of being in a relationship for a long time. And now that we've kind of been through those, we can come at it with a more like sober approach and like, yeah, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. So we'll just tell you what happens for us and what might work for you. We don't even have the answer for that, because obviously there's going to be people disagreeing with us on stuff. But that's why we try to root our takes and what we do now with a biblical approach, because that is objectively good.
Well, and it's like I said earlier, we were talking about like it was the best friend question or something like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we don't hide the fact that we're Christian people. So if you automatically aren't interested in that, you're not going to really care what we have to say about dating and stuff. Yeah. And that's fine. I'm not going to jump on somebody's case who's a different faith than me or doesn't have a faith for the type of life advice they give. We only make these videos because we've gotten a lot of feedback that this is what you guys want to see, and we obviously want to give. So it's just, to me, it's always been like, why does it bug people so much that our takes are biblically rooted when it doesn't bother anybody if somebody is preaching from like a secular perspective, or all the red pill podcasts, the dating podcasts? Fun fact, those people are doing the exact same thing that we are, just rooted in a totally different moral compass.
To always be tolerant until it's Christian people. We're the persecuted ones.
Oh man, you start a war in the comments with that one. But I think...
But it's true.
I think people automatically hear anything close to traditional dating values and go, it's 2026, how dare you even talk like that?
Well, the most extreme, loudest people say that. I think there's people who don't really care, or there's people who agree with us but don't want to be Christian, which, like, whatever. But I think the problem is that the loudest people are the ones with the most, what is it?
The most audacity?
The loudest people are the ones with the most far takes. What's the word?
Most extreme?
Yeah, the loudest people are the ones with the most, no, the word is on the tip of my tongue. It's not extreme. Radical. The loudest people are the ones with the most radical takes. If I cut it like that, I kept trying to think of the word radical. So you're going to hear the most radical takes the loudest, and the people who don't care aren't going to comment anything.
He's saying this to me too, not just you guys, because this is a conversation we've had a lot in private. Mm-hmm. Like I said at the beginning, this stuff hurts me a lot sometimes.
We watched a clip. She showed me a clip this morning of like someone who cut something I was saying in one of these videos cut it to make it sound like I was saying something bad. And she's like, "Look at this! So like people are seeing this." I'm like, "This video has 59 likes. No one has seen this." Like, the majority of people aren't going to actually think that. And if anyone does an ounce of research, they'll go watch the full video, or at least watch the full clip. Okay, the batteries, all my camera batteries are dead. This is just what it died like 3 times near the end of this. Okay.
You tried.
That was the relationship Q&A.
That was the Q&A of Q&A.
End video.